Hello and welcome back to my channel. Sorry for the impromptu week off. I actually got orders on my Etsy store, which was very exciting. And since they are hand created, custom prompted book annotations, it actually took quite a bit of time for me last week to finish that order and get it sent out. So if you're interested, I'll pop it on the screen. Feel free to order if you'd like to. I have definitely upped the prices from where they were. I was selling them for $60 and I've actually put it up to I think at the last time I checked, like $200 just because it is such a time intensive labor to annotate 400 pages and do it in such a short time. And um, I cannot do anything halfway. So my my annotations were on every page. There were doodles, there were post-its, and just I really wanted it to look good and for them to enjoy it, and I think they did. Unfortunately, for the amount of time it took for that price, it really wasn't a feasible business model. So I upped the prices. So if someone does want to still get that product, I am totally capable and willing to make it. But I did realize really quickly that that probably isn't going to be sustainable for me. If you're new here, you might not know, I actually quit my job teaching this past year just due to health issues and kind of wanting to see if there was any room for me in a creative niche that maybe I could go into a more creative business model. We hope. Um, Today you will have kind of a Pride and Prejudice themed video, which is really kind of funny because it's on point for what we've been kind of discussing. The book annotations that I did. They were for Emma, which is about 392 pages. It may be a little longer in different editions, but for me, I love Jane Austen, and so I really thought doing something Jane Austen kind of oriented would be kind of an exciting foray into the Etsy atmosphere, and I thought that something like book annotation would just be a nice way to dip my toes in. Which I think it was. I do think it was a good way to get in there and see kind of what is out there. And within 3 days, I had a sale. Now, it was a really niche area, and not a lot of people are offering those things. I wanted to do print on demand art prints, but it's just a little too confusing for me right now. Then I thought, well, I'll offer commissions, but I wasn't sure that I could keep my style completely consistent across multiple commissions. And so I didn't want to do that just yet because the amount I would want to charge in order for it to be feasible and to be worth my time would probably be higher than most Etsy clients are willing to pay for a digital project. Um, and I wasn't really looking to get into printing just yet. I have recently looked at print on demand, and I do think I'm going to dip my toes in, but oddly enough, the main project that I've been working on lately has actually been an ebook. And don't worry, I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm not here to tell you you can get rich quick or being vegan will make you a size zero. Although I have been vegan before and I didn't lose any weight, but I did feel better. So the ebook I actually am considering making is I'm I am and I was really into writing books, fantasy books, and I really enjoyed world building. And I actually created a huge, um, really popular template that was just based on the world. And I know that sounds kind of goofy to say, world building based on the world. Like, yeah, duh. But the way that I had set it up was that there were kind of these 10 major areas of the world: tundra, desert, oceans, lakes, valleys, rivers, etc., etc. And within those, there were a lot of really interesting subtypes, and then inside of those subtypes were really strange like phenomena that could happen. And I just kind of went headfirst into creating this document that when you clicked into a certain region, it would then show you everything that that region could possibly have. And so I was building it as a way that when writing a fantasy novel and being in a certain region of that world that was similar to our own, I could pull from these subtypes and these details and have like a really well described world that made sense in some ways. And what happened was by the end of it, I was so burnt out because it's huge. It's a massive inventory. That I just kind of popped it on Reddit and said, "Hey, here's these templates if you're interested, go for it." Um, Down the road, the template kind of stopped working, or maybe I privated it. I'm still not sure what happened with it. And I started getting questions, where's that template? Can I get that template? Where can I buy that template? Is that information still out there? And so it's been about 2 years, and I thought to myself, I really want to make an ebook, but I don't know what niche there is or what I should do it in, and I want it to actually have some value. And what I came to was, why don't I offer writers these templates, but in an ebook form? And basically, you look up the region that you're interested in, and you can find details that are specific to those types of regions and pull from those to create your own fantastical world. And, the end goal would be that you could pull from, say, the desert and lakes and find things inside both of those biomes and kind of mash them together in a way that could never truly exist in the real world, but that because it is based in some sense of fact and science, that it would kind of make sense. It's a little bit like Breath of the Wild having, the Rito frozen geography very close to, the Gorons, you gotta wear flame armor geography. And I just thought, that's cool, that's fun, that's something that's very niche that I think I could really have fun with, while I'm also doing my art and creating this video content. And I knew I wanted to get into the digital marketplace, but I simply didn't know what to do. And so, from this template that I am designing, I've decided to expand upon it and possibly offer each region as its own ebook. If someone only wants to know about forest regions, then why make them buy all the other regions that are included? And it's almost like a bundle sort of idea. You can buy each separate section if that's all you're interested in, or you can buy a bundle and you pay a slightly, you pay a higher price compared to just one section of the book, but there'd be like a discount if you bought it in a bundle versus buying all 10 separately. Okay, I digress. Marketing's fun, but it's not interesting for a YouTube video, probably. And so I decided, well, why don't I take this idea and create it on a younger level? Something like, why are deserts like they are? Or why do volcanoes look like this? Or something along those lines. Because I am coming from the teaching stratosphere, and some of the things that are really lacking, and I don't know if you guys have noticed this from your time in school, but when we are doing interventions or reading, a lot of times when you have a student who is a struggling reader, they give them graphic novels. At best, they give them graphic novels. And at worst, they give them books that are almost embarrassing for someone to read. So, for example, there are books like Dog on a Log. And as a 8th grader, a 14-year-old, you're not going to want to be reading Dog on a Log, even if you are struggling. You'd rather just, I don't know, fake it or something. And it's like, we should have material for those students anyway. So I thought, why not take this fantasy world building book that I'm creating, with a totally different audience in mind, adults, creatives, writers, and take the content that I've already compiled and worked on and found images for and create a younger version that allows students to have something on their level that isn't, like a silly grade school book that would make them feel maybe ostracized or isolated. So I don't know, it's just different ideas. Things that I'm familiar with are writing and books and art, but things I'm unfamiliar with are the marketplace and making stickers and prints. And I'd love to get better at all of them and hopefully find a niche. And like I said at the beginning of this video, I have already opened an Etsy shop and am exploring things like handwritten annotations and stationery type products. And I think that the next step is to kind of explore other interests that I can bring art and writing and ebooks to. I'm not well versed enough to bring a how-to art book, but I am well versed enough to bring a look at these regions of the world ebook. And perhaps what I should have done if I had thought ahead, and maybe I'll still do this, is illustrating the book myself. One of the things for the regional ebook was using Creative Commons images, and so showing writers real photos of what these places look like in the world. But for the student ebook, maybe I create artworks for it and then I have my own completely licensed ebook that, only my items are being used in. I'd really like to know if any of you guys have kind of went into this space and if you're having success or what you think about it. Obviously, it's always easier or maybe more understandable to just go get a 9 to 5. But unfortunately, I'm finding that the 9 to 5 just doesn't work with my health problems. And so I don't want to just sit at home. I want to do something and be productive and bring money in. And so this is sort of my way of trying to find that niche and offering the skills that I do have to the world and hoping that something comes from them. I feel like I've spent too long learning to be an artist and too long learning technology to do nothing with it. I do want to still offer things to the public, and obviously, it would be great to make money from it. But these YouTube videos, at this time, they're not even sponsored. So, this is just me trying to connect with the community because I think that's really honestly the only way you grow. You've got to find like minded people, and that's really how you do it. You build something and you hope to find people that have the same ideas as you. This drawing is coming to an end. This is actually the beginning of a little series for the next week or so where I try out some brush sets on the iPad. I try to watercolor digitally of a similar picture, and then I do a digital painting in my found style that I've been talking about, and I can't wait to show you. I'm so proud. It's probably the proudest painting of my life. So I'm really excited. I hope you guys will see that video by next week. I will see you guys in the next video. Leave me a comment, subscribe, like, whatever you want to do. I hope that I will see you in the next video. Bye.